Okay, and just a reminder, whenever you work from the back side with the back side showing, always start with a back post double crochet in the first stitch. You don't skip when you're going backwards. Or, I'm sorry, when you're working with the back side facing. Now we're going to skip the next stitch and then back post along the next one. Now you work the skipped stitch, which is right there. Sorry about the camera angles, guys. I am the editor, the producer, the film camera person, all in one here. So you're getting about a 5 for the price of 1 deal, and the price is pretty good at free. So, so I'm skipping the next stitch, and notice that when you're looking at it from the back side, all the stitches that are leaning this direction are the ones that I'm going to do first. So if you're ever confused in that, it feels like a long reach, but that's the correct one, and then the one that you skipped. And skip one, back post double crochet around the next. Now we're going to do the one that we skipped. Again, this is something that's better felt than seen. You get to use more than one of your senses. Okay, now we're getting the skipped stitch here. Now we're going to skip one and do the next, just all the way across on the purple. There should be 9 X's, if I'm counting that right, or a total of 18 stitches. Let me show you. I think I'm not getting it on the camera very well. Okay. And this is the skip stitch. Oops, let's do that again. These are all back post double crochets. Now the last 3 stitches. Oops, here's the, there we go. And then the last stitch, of course, don't forget the last stitch, which is right here. When you work from the back, you're going to have a stitch at the beginning and then a stitch at the end, so don't forget that. I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to turn. Okay, now we're ready to work from the front, and this will be the last row that we go all the way across, and then we're going to start filling in here with white. Okay, I'm going to skip the first stitch. I'm going to just, now we're going to do the other. Skip the next stitch, front post double crochet. Now we get the stitch that we skipped, which is right in here. And skip the next stitch. Now we do the skipped stitch. Skip the, see that this was the stitch we worked, so the skip stitch is here, and then we work this one. I'm trying to take my time and show as much as I can of this because I know a lot of you have tried the Celtic weave that I developed years ago, and it's a little tricky, and I just wanted to make sure that you kind of understand this one. This is similar to the Celtic weave, except it's using 1 stitch instead of 2 to make the weave. So any of you have done the Celtic weave before, this should be pretty easy to do. Okay, almost to the point of changing colors. Okay, now we're going to get ready to switch to the white in just a second here. Okay. Now before we finish off this last stitch, we're going to want to go to the white. Make sure you leave the purple back behind there. Okay. So I'm going to switch to the white to complete that front post double crochet, and now we're going to just finish off in single crochet. If you're worried about how these stitches are going to lay flat with the single crochets, it all works its way out in the end. The fabric does kind of give a little bit and fills in quite well. Okay, now this is the row. We're going to use white onto the purple. Okay, we're not going to switch here because we're going back to working only the short side of the cross. So since we added 8 stitches here, so we're going to work 8 single crochets in the purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now this is our 8th stitch, so this is where we take the time to swap out to the purple on that stitch. Now remember, we're working from the back, so we always start off with the back post double crochet. You don't skip anything when working from the back side for the first stitch. Okay, we're going to do that. Now we're going to skip a stitch, and then we're going to do the next one. Now we're going to do the 2 skipped, or the skip stitch, which was here. And we're going to do one more stitch, which is right next to the other. We're not going to skip a stitch here. We're going to do, this is pretty important, don't skip. Okay, now we're getting ready to switch back to the white. I'm going to switch back to the white. And we're going to finish out the last, you should have 6 stitches. 3, 4, 5, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, if you have more than that from this point on, then perhaps you joined at the wrong place, and you're going to want to go back and make sure you have the right number. Okay, 1, 2, this is coming back the front way, 3, 4, 5. Now this is the 6th stitch. This is where we switch to purple. Okay, now we're going to simply skip the next one, with the front side facing, skip the stitch, and front post double crochet in the next one. Now do the skip stitch, so do our X's, and then one more here, and then the one that we skipped, and then we need to switch back to white. And then we're going to fill in the single crochets. These would all be with the white yarn, or whatever contrasting color you decide to use. Okay, I'm going to finish at the end of this row in single crochet, and then come back and I'll show you some more. Okay, now to the point where I need to have one more single crochet, and drop that, pick up the purple to complete the stitch. And remember, we got to don't skip any when you're working from the back. Back post double crochet. Whoops, let's do that again. And we're going to skip a stitch, and then do the next back post double crochet. And now we're going to do the 2 that we skipped, which is right here. And then do the next stitch, we don't skip a stitch when we are working from the back for the last stitch. Okay, now I'm going to drop the purple, pick up the white, and continue. Okay, chain 1 for the turn. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we have just one last time. I'm going to switch to purple. Going to skip the next stitch. Front post double crochet, and then front post double crochet in the stitch we skipped. Skip the next stitch. Front post double crochet, and then front post double crochet in the stitch that we skipped. And then before we complete that stitch, we need to switch back to the white. That way we have pretty seamless color changes. Okay, and then we would complete that. So let's go ahead and stop and see what we have. Okay, this is what we have. It's a little tight, but when I crochet these, I usually add a few more rows of single crochet on the other side, and it really does even out the stitching. And you can block this if you'd like. So that's pretty much it for the Celtic Cross. This is using front post double crochet. So anyway, if you have any questions on that or anything you need help with, feel free to contact me at bonniebaycrochet.com. Look forward to seeing you, to communicating with you on social media, however you want to do that. I am on Twitter at Bonnie Bay, or Crochet with Bonnie rather, and on Facebook at bonniebaycrochet.com, or just simply Bonnie Bay Crochet. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.